Were you comfortable there, yeah?
Am I there? Is this okay?
Well, are you comfortable how you look and all that?
Well, do you think that's...
No, are you just like how far in we should be and all that? Okay, ready?
Yes.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Frag Chat with me, Smelly, and her...
Smurfy!
So, here we are again. We're in Gran Canaria, Puerto Rico, which is a part of Gran Canaria, here in a Spanish island off the coast of Africa. So, we were here back in September. We've come again to get some sun here in January to escape the gloom, the incredible gloom and greyness of Britain, which can be quite oppressive this time of year. So, it's lovely. We're in the midst of a 9-day holiday here.
And I was really ill. Had a cough I couldn't shake.
Back in England, Claire's had a terrible cough, yeah.
And I needed the sun, and guess what?
Yeah.
I'm 100% better.
Mm-hmm.
So it worked.
It did fix your cough, so really nice. And we've been, it gets dark about 6:30. It's not as sunny as it is when you come in high season, but it's really, really warm and pleasant and sunbathable.
Yes.
Sorry, there's a bit of traffic noise. Hopefully we'll get decent images and okay sound. So, today's episode, we're going to talk about a couple of things. Forte Manle perfumes coming up in a little while, in a few minutes. Talk about our opinion on some of those fragrances. But before that, we thought we'd talk about maybe a hot topic. We're going to try and make it a hot topic. So we thought we'd ask the question, should fragrance reviewers on YouTube review other fragrance reviewers?
So what we're doing now is we are reviewing the fragrance reviewers that are reviewing the fragrance reviewers.
Yeah.
In effect.
We've fallen into that trap, so we're hardly in a position to criticise anyone. But just notice, we noticed towards the end of last year, it came out a few times that there were some videos, weren't there? David from the Fragrance Bros did that thing where they watch another video and they kind of go split screen or whatever, so you can see a bit of them
reacting to the video,
And that's crept into the Fragcom YouTube world, whereas I think it's been there in other YouTube things, gaming, God knows.
I've seen it in the beauty industry quite a lot recently, so I think it's a thing. It's
a thing that happens, and now it's happening a little bit on YouTube. So we've seen David did it with Jeremy Fragrance. I think Gent Sense did it with a video by Stephen from Red Essence and the Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. Timmy from Imagine Sense did one, I think, at least, where he reviewed another review. So, and I've seen a couple of other people do it too. So they watch
bless you.
Excuse me. They watch a video and then they comment on it.
Yeah.
They're either reviewing the reviewer or I don't know.
Or just reacting,
and now,
or even critiquing.
Yeah.
So.
What do we think about that? It seems a little bit absurd, doesn't it? Because if you say to people, "Oh yeah, I'm a fragrance reviewer on YouTube," they're like, "Is that even a thing? What's that?" And then if you say, "No, now we're reviewing other reviewers on YouTube who review fragrances," that's really weird. And it's part of the kind of fitting in with other YouTube areas where people do that kind of thing. But is it a bit sort of, how far have we gone away from the great days when someone passionate about fragrances just gave you their thoughts on a fragrance?
I think it's the whole thing. Fragcom is getting bigger, I think, and people are doing what they want to get extra views, what they think will get a little bit of controversy. I've been guilty of it myself.
Oh yeah, Claire did a video recently that got your biggest number of views on one of them, which is about where you said why you shouldn't buy Jeremy Fragrance's fragrance, which you didn't really mean as a big attack on him, but you gave some alternative office fragrances. But that got people talking, and that wasn't quite.
I wasn't reviewing Jeremy Fragrance. No. I was just saying, don't buy that. Buy these and stuff.
But we can kind of tie that in with this, because there are more videos, if even you're doing it, where a YouTube fragrance reviewer talks about another reviewer, maybe to get views or controversy. I did it with Jeremy. I did one a little bit where I said I used the Jeremy Fragrance thing to pull people in and said these are some of my favourite office ones if you don't want to buy his fragrance office for men. But, you know, is that a bad thing? Are we getting away from the magic of fragrance reviewing at its most honest and genuine?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, if we were wholly decent and all we wanted to do was share our hobby, then we probably wouldn't do these clickbait things. But there is this thing of you want to grow your channel, you want the views, you get your pennies off AdSense, and you know, you can't help but sometimes want a bit of clickbait, so I can understand that. But when it comes to actually reviewing another fragrance reviewer, I'm not sure I'd be completely comfortable doing that myself. I wouldn't feel I was in a position to judge.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird sometimes when people do that. We're not attacking anyone who's done it. Timmy from Imagine Sense, you know, like his channel, same with Gent Sense, but they're different videos that they did. But it's interesting, this new phenomenon. Yeah. So we want to just let us know in the comments what you think about that. The way YouTube fragrance review videos are evolving and the slightly different types that are coming out.
People enjoy those. I mean, if you enjoy watching those videos, then I guess there's a market for them, so why not go ahead and do them if you're comfortable doing that? You know, so yeah, do let us know if you actually enjoy watching those kind of videos, and we'll start we can review each other's.
Who knows?
How fun would that be?
I dread to think what you'd say about mine. And obviously we're kind of guilty now because we've just talked about other people and talking about other people. So let us know what you think about Fragcom, introspectively looking at each other in that way and that new phenomenon. So that's our little bit of stuff to kick off with. The other thing is, before we get into the main stuff then, drink of the night, Claire.
Okay. So it's no surprises to anyone that knows me. I'm drinking Smirnoff, but this is a special bottle, Spanish style plastic bottle.
Classy. From the Hyperdino
supermarket. And what's great is this is a fresh bottle. We've just used up the oh no, it's not. I thought it was going to have one of those special poury things.
Some of them have like like an aftershave splash style dispenser, but this one doesn't. But some of them did, didn't they?
It's mixed with some
Pepsi Max,
Cola Light, por favor.
Yes. Or Pepsi Max Zero Calorie, as they call it here. Anyway, and I'm drinking not Spanish, Warsteiner German lager. They do have a lager here called Tropical, which is alright, but this is slightly better, so I'm drinking that. Okay, so now on to something actually where we talk about a fragrance.
Yes, about time.
Guess we could try that. This is a company who very kindly sent us their discovery set, and they're called Forte Manle. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about their fragrances. A lot of the big reviewers have talked about them, and we've got the discovery set there. And they sent us 10 fragrances from the House of Forte Manle, based down in Australia, down under, and they're a niche fragrance brand with a rather interesting range of fragrances that we've been very excited to try actually, and the prices on these actually are, we found on Lucky Scent in the USA, you can get a 50ml bottle for $190. So they're not cheap, that's US dollars, translates to around about £147. So certainly a niche brand with appropriate pricing, and we can see they do have some very nice bottle designs, all similar to that kind of thing, with different colours and things, and very nicely presented. So let's get stuck in. They sent us 10, but we thought that would be a bit of a long video, so we picked maybe our favourite 5 or the 5 that are most interesting. So let's get stuck into them. We're going to kick off with probably our favourite, we both agree on, which is called Bojnikov.
So it used to be called Mr. Bojnikov's Purple Hat, but it's been shortened, I guess, just makes it easier for people.
Mr. Bojnikov's Purple Hat, now called Bojnikov, and it's a really, really interesting, powerful, exotic fragrance, isn't it?
This is my standout favourite from the line. I fell head over heels in love. I'd heard about it. I did not expect to like it at all based on the notes. I saw Peter from Fragrance Views review of it, and from the notes and the description I just thought, sounds interesting but not one I'm gonna like. And how wrong was I? It just goes to show you cannot judge a fragrance based on the notes.
Speaking of the notes, that's seamless stuff there, because in the top apparently we've got lavender, in the heart chocolate and vanilla, and in the base oud, vetiver and gaiac wood, also cedarwood. The company describe it as a woody gourmand, and the perfume I think for all of these is a gentleman called Rasé Forte, who is obviously the part of the name Forte
Manle.
That's exactly it.
So I personally I just can't smell the lavender. I don't really get the chocolate. I don't really get the vanilla. Yet
what do you like about it?
And they are the notes that I would expect to like, or at least the vanilla and the chocolate. But I absolutely love this one. Head over heels in love with it. And I do get a vetiver that's kind of like a grassy vetiver that sings off your skin. It's really gorgeous. Beautiful woodsy notes.
Should we just do a spray of the opening as well?
Can you do it on my hand, because I don't want to waste it.
Okay.
Is that alright? I'm going to wear this tonight, actually.
Yeah. Bodgenakopf.
I've worn this one a couple
on your
of
wrist
times.
there, yeah?
Yeah, you've worn it at least once, haven't you?
Try that. Yep, we've both worn it quite a few times. We've really got through the sample set. Comes very nicely presented like that, and this is the one in question, Bodgenakopf.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind. I can smell the lavender. This is the first time I've ever noticed the lavender now. Herbal, a bit green.
Mhm. How would we? So it's kind of pungent, woody.
You can smell the oud.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
A touch of oud.
Yeah, but it doesn't smell like the kind of oud that has me running for the hills.
Claire doesn't like oud generally.
I seem to not like the western variations. This smells. Maybe, I don't know if he uses natural oud, but I think maybe it just doesn't smell the same as what I'm used to, and it's I don't
very
mind
nice,
it at all, the oud. But yeah, first time I've ever noticed the lavender, and
they talk about a woody gourmand and chocolate, but you don't pick up. It's not massively chocolatey at all, really.
No.
Is it? Feels more like patchouli that has a tiny hint of a chocolate.
Yeah, but it doesn't smell like that kind of patchouli that I don't like either, because I'm not a fan of oud or patchouli yet. Something about this is, to me, it's really special.
Really rich, mysterious, mystical, woody, a little bit of sweetness, some oud, and a really nice, powerful sillage.
Yeah.
A classy nighttime kind of scent, I think. Not
super
particularly
exotic.
for sunny weather, but you could.
I would wear it sunbathing.
Well, you could, yeah.
Well, I've been wearing a lot of these sunbathing.
You have, much to the consternation of our fellow hotel clientele, yeah. So yeah, but that's really nice. That one, really, really interesting, rich.
It's
I can see why it's
different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It smells like nothing else.
Well worth trying.
I put it in the same ballpark as sort of Andy Towers,
exactly.
Desert.
Yeah,
it's that kind of exotic, spicy, rich, something mystical and mysterious.
So Bodgenakopf, which I can't pronounce, comes in a bottle like that. Lovely design on the bottle. Well worth trying from Forte Manle. We'll do the one we don't really agree on next.
Yes.
And this is called Charlatan. So that's got a little bit of talk in the fragrance community. So Charlatan, and I'll show you the bottle now.
Can find it.
What do you think about that one, Claire?
Well, it's not that I don't like it, it's just, to me, there's something really funky and dirty about it. It almost like worn underwear that's still warm. It's still prettiness. There's some. It smells like pretty florals. It smells a bit vanillic. It's pretty, but there's just this dirty undertone that's just a bit too naughty for me to handle.
Yeah.
And I'm a naughty girl.
You are. But this one is a bit funky. I'll just spray a bit of top notes.
What we're smelling there is what we sprayed yesterday, actually.
They're a day old.
Because we wanted to be sure to smell with you guys.
Yeah.
The dry down as well as the top notes.
But we'll give the top notes a re-spritz.
Yeah.
And again, it's similarly, we felt like there might be a bit of civet or something in that one, didn't we?
It feels like there's either civet or there's one of those animalic notes. What's that?
Castoreum.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep. The notes officially, again, they're describing it as a floral gourmand, pear chocolate, Damascus rose, jasmine, vanilla, tuber, not tuberose, but tuber. Don't get that. Osmanthus, sandalwood, amber, and vanilla. So
the notes sound to me like I should love this one. Yeah. Is there anything animalic in there?
Nothing animalic or out there.
But maybe the jasmine's indolic. Maybe that's what we're getting.
Jasmine can be indolic, which can smell a bit animalic. They're quite strange descriptions on all of them. Tables turned, untruths awash, snake oil, Jack's beans, unattainable mirage, melancholic brood, grey descent. If I can't have her, then no one will. So that doesn't mean anything to me. It's quite intriguing.
Maybe I'm smelling Jack's beans.
Yeah, well, that's what let's not go there.
It's kind of like it's a bit fresh actually in the opening. A little bit fresh, a little bit sharp.
Yeah.
It's definitely sweet and floral.
And it's quite deep and rich, and it does have an animalic undertone. It's really hard to describe this, and these in general actually. Yeah. But that one is quite funky. Although the description in the official blurb doesn't really describe
No.
the way we feel that one is. But definitely really interesting, pungent.
I think if you like something
Slightly challenging.
animalic but still pretty and quite nice.
Maybe if you like things like Zhiki by Guerlain, a bit of an old-fashioned feel. It's in that kind of vein. Really, really nice and really interesting. Let's move on then. We've got another one called Fatih Sultan Mehmed.
So I wore this one yesterday.
Fatih Sultan Mehmed. Sorry. Yeah.
I really enjoyed wearing this one too. So this is a day old one now.
Yes.
I get a lot of musky woodsiness. It smells almost like a Creed fragrance a little bit, like the dry down of Creed, but
that's interesting.
It's really good.
Yeah. Well, particularly interesting because it does have ambergris. The notes in the top, you've got bergamot, petitgrain, apple. In the mid, you've got tulip, iris, vanilla, ambergris, Damascus rose, and in the base, cedar, agarwood, otherwise known as oud, musk patchouli, amber, and benzoin. And it's described perfume type as a floral fougere. Again, Rasai Forte, the perfumer on that one. So floral fougere. And do you want to just get a fresh spray of that one as well?
Let's do that. Can you find it?
It could be interesting.
So this one reminds me or makes me think of more of a mainstream men's fragrance, but not in a bad way. It smells really, really good.
We'll just give it a fresh
first. There's nothing weird. It's not too weird or niche. If you're not...
Wait for that bite. Otherwise I won't hear. Okay.
If you're not a niche lover or you're just getting into niche, this would be entry-level niche, I think.
Yeah, which a lot of these could be quite wearable actually compared to some of the more out there niche stuff.
Quite fruity in the opening there.
That's the one that reminds me of fig.
Yeah.
And you said maybe peach.
Yeah.
So it's a tiny bit of that fig or
figgy,
Fico d'Amalfi.
Peachy kind of opening, but definitely woody and cedarwood and musk.
Yeah, and in the dry down they change quite a bit. So
they all change, don't they? A lot.
Yes, the openings very different, even on paper, and then when you smell it the next day or whatever. The
difference on paper and skin again is quite big as well. I think on skin they really sing off your skin. It's really, really, really nice.
This one of the more fresh ones in the opening with the bergamot, petitgrain, and apple.
Yeah. Maybe
giving it that fruitiness. But I said fig, but it's not listed.
This could be a Creed fragrance. And no offence to Forte Manle because
that's not a bad thing.
But to me it's a really good Creed. It could be a really good Creed fragrance.
Yeah. So really, quite interesting. A little bit of freshness, woodiness, a bit of complexity
really
in the base.
Great dry down. The ambergris and the cedarwood. It's just beautiful.
So a little bit more on the fresh side, but still quite exotic smelling.
And very much beginner niche. So it's not as exotic as the other fragrances in the line, I think.
Agreed on that one. We're nearly there. Maduro is next.
We've almost used this sample up.
So me and Claire have both really enjoyed wearing Maduro a few times. The notes on this one, in the top you got pineapple and red apple, basil, cinnamon. In the mid we have rose, vanilla, honey, beeswax, and in the base tobacco, amber, patchouli, vetiver, benzoin, and Atlas cedar. And the blurb there talks about something to do with Havana in Cuba, 1961, some cigars that went missing and got sunk sailing out from Fidel Castro's Cuba. Okay. So who was a famous cigar lover and of course the head of the Cuban state from 1959 until his death sometime a few years ago, which I can't remember when that happened. Bit of history there for you.
Well done.
If you're thinking of Pure Havana by Thierry Mugler, that would be the really basic.
Yeah, but it's nothing like that.
Designer one that has a Havana Cuba theme. This doesn't really smell much like that, although it does have the note of tobacco. But not really. It doesn't really smell like cigars or tobacco as the overwhelming thing that you get from it, does it? It's woody, isn't it?
I'd say it's very, very fruity to start with.
Yeah.
Very fruity, and then in the dry down, I'd say there's a hint of tobacco mixed with woods and musk. Another one that could almost be Creed in the dry down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah,
quite a lot of vanilla and honey listed, but it's not
on
overwhelmingly.
Your skin, because you've worn this twice now, and I really loved it when you wore it. On your skin, it came off a little bit more funky, but in a really good way. And that could be the honey, because that can come off a little bit animalic.
Right.
And on your skin, I did get almost like a warmed up skin. Your deodorant's having to work, but you're clean, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like a clean, hot skin.
Right. Interesting.
It's really, really good, like sexy.
Ah, okay, yeah. They're describing it as a woody gourmand. It certainly is woody, and it's quite a grown-up sort of. It's not just a really sweet tobacco.
No,
that you get that a lot, don't you? Tobacco and vanilla, but it doesn't smell like that. It's more complex.
Like Naxos. Don't think it's like pure Havana.
No,
it's much more subtle, refined, sophisticated in my
very grown up
opinion.
and sophisticated, and yeah. Again, hard to really just read those notes and think that gives you the actual picture.
Opening to the dry down is quite different.
Yeah, finding it.
What
could be
I'm
tricky.
loving about these fragrances is the journey. Every single one of them changes on your skin so that you never get bored, and that is something that I really look for in fragrances.
Yeah.
You don't always understand why I get bored of things. Like,
no, I think if something smells good at the beginning, I don't want it to change. I'm happy.
Yeah, but I get bored. My nose gets very easily bored, and these all change, which is something that I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's so really different to what we were smelling in the dry down. Yeah, which is often the case.
You can smell the honey. Now I know it's there.
Okay.
You can smell the honey. It smells fruity honey.
It's a bit more in keeping with the blurb in the opening than when you smell the dry down. So really nice. So we found that a lot of these have a sort of some similarity in the dry down. Like there's a base that's common to all.
It feels like there's an accord that's used in all of them, and I think whatever that accord is, I'm definitely for it. But it just links every single fragrance. Agreed.
There's definitely a theme or something common to all of them. So that's Maduro, and last but not least, we're going to do 4. We're going to do 5. We're not going to do the whole lot because 10 would take too long. Yeah. So Amber Absolutely, not Absolute, the Tom Ford fragrance,
and nothing like the Tom Ford fragrance, by the way.
Really, no. So here's the dry down on a strip. Amber Absolutely. We both quite like that, don't we?
This one, I love this dry down, but I don't really appreciate the opening. It's not my taste.
Right.
It's a bit too fruity. It's got plum in it, and I don't get on with plum in fragrances. And whilst I can still get a hint of the plum now in the dry down, it's not so dominant.
Yeah, plum. It's one of those weird notes, isn't it? I don't know.
Do we want to smell plums?
Well, let's see if we can just get a quick spray of the beginning of it.
I think it's a darker one, if I recall.
Okay, yeah, good point.
I might be lying that.
Yeah, here we go. So that was the sort of dry down from about 24 hours ago. Let's have a look at the opening then, and here it goes.
Cool.
It's good, isn't it? It's really rich. It's
very rich.
A little bit sweet, but none of them are really cloying. Even though a lot of them are described as gourmands, they don't really come. I wouldn't think they're gourmands.
They're nothing like the very photorealistic type gourmands that you can sometimes find, like Ganache parfums, where you literally smell a dessert. They're nothing like that. They just a little hint of gourmand, but really they are proper perfumes, which I like.
Yeah. Very grown up smell.
This one's not one I would probably choose to wear. There's nothing I don't like about it. It's just probably because it's a bit too fruity for me in the opening.
Did we list the notes on that one?
I don't recall.
Okay, the notes on that one: in the top, plum and black currants. In the mid, rose. In the base, amber, musk and benzoin, cedar, vetiver, labdanum, perfume type ambery. So it doesn't tell you, that tells you nothing, doesn't it? But it doesn't have oud in it, so that's good. But kind of sweet, but again, balanced with a certain woody sophistication about it. It's not just sweet.
None of these, even the ones listed with vanilla, none of these really smell like vanilla or
to me,
sugar
that reminds.
or anything like that. Sorry.
No, you're right. None of them are massively that way. It reminds me a bit of L'air de Desert Marocain.
Yeah, actually, I see what you're saying there.
By Andy Tao.
It's in that ballpark for sure.
So really, really interesting, sophisticated fragrances. The Discovery set very nicely packaged. The bottles look lovely, and the price not super cheap, but
I
get
feel
what you
like
pay
these
for sometimes
are really
in life.
nicely crafted fragrances.
So we definitely think that we're interested to explore more from this house. And all of the 10 that they sent us were really interesting. Some weird one, the Confessions of a Garden Gnome, you know, do you want to tell people you're wearing that? It's a strange name, but it did smell quite nice and green and garden-like. So a really interesting set of fragrances and a great house scent, and very wearable.
Yes.
Nothing too scary.
Yeah,
there.
I said they are almost like a step from Western perfumery towards Middle Eastern. They're kind of like middle ground.
Yeah.
But they're all very well. I've worn most of them now. I don't find any of them, even the ones with oud, which I don't generally like, I find them all really wearable.
And pretty good performance from what we can tell from these small samples that we've had so far. So that's our take on those. Thanks ever so much for joining us. We're off to enjoy the rest of our evening here in
I've got to tell them about my
Canaria.
sweets that I like.
Oh, and Claire's really excited to tell you about some sweets, which I didn't really want to put this part in the video. I didn't really see that this was necessary to put in the video. And she has made me walk around several supermarkets trying to find these sweets again that she bought in one place, and then they were all gone. But then she found these other new ones today that were even better.
So initially we found these things that have got this, which is called Taron, which we looked up, it means nugget, but you call it nougat.
It's called nougat.
Has this in the middle, and then like a rice paper crispy outer shell, each of them individually wrapped. But basically, we only just bought, and we've eaten all of that. I don't even ask about the calorie or the fat content.
Quite a lot.
It's kind of greasy. It's like wet.
Yeah.
And it's basically mushed.
Why are we telling them
It's
this?
mushed up nuts with, I think, sugar and fat.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
But
stunning!
it is nice, yeah.
I love it. So, if you haven't tried it before,
Yeah.
if you're in Spain or maybe you're in a country that does this stuff, you should totally get on it.
And there's an ice cream, that flavour nearby. So next,
I'm going to try that.
We haven't been complete.
Tomorrow or tonight after the pub.
Yeah, maybe. We haven't been complete pigs on this holiday. We've only had like 1 or 2 ice creams, so maybe we can have that. So let us know if you've tried Turon ice cream, which tastes like nougat, not
Nugget.
nugget. And on that note, we'll say we'll bid you a fond farewell, and we'll see you in the next episode very soon.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and sorry if my channel hasn't had as much high quality edited output as normal, because I'm on holiday, and unlike other reviewers, I don't upload 3 spare videos always to be ready. But there'll be stuff like that coming soon. Hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.
Bye everybody.